and gentlemen, welcome to the Atlanta SpeedTour at beautiful Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. And we're going to start off with one of our biggest groups, Ken Fangler here, the president of International GT. Unbelievable what's been happening in the last couple of years. So big he's had to go to 2 groups. How does it feel, Ken?
A bit numbing, actually. The whole thing has just exploded. You know, we started ramping up over the past 2 years, but this is just wonderful. Over 50 cars total in International GT, and we're really excited to have all these cars, drivers, and teams, and very happy to be part of the SpeedTour, man.
Nice, and you've added some new staff. You're really growing. Tell us about some of the new staff you've added.
Yeah, we pretty much gave up. Julie Bentley, my administrator and faithful assistant, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. We've added Ron Sinza, who's become the race steward, and then we had Marcelo. MJ is handling tech, and we brought back my co-founder and best friend, Bill Riddell. We gave him official title again, and he's Director of Driver Development and Safety, and he's got an official title now, and it's great to have Bill back on the team. So amongst the 5 of us, we feel we got a great team to keep customers happy and have some great racing.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. About 40 cars in this field. First one I want to talk to, Dave Tuwati. You've got all this color on your car. You've got color all over your suit. You're the first to qualify in the 4-liter. How's it feel to be at Road Atlanta?
Oh my God, it's awesome! I love racing cars. I think I'm gonna stick with it. Freaking awesome. Porsches at Road Atlanta. Weather is gorgeous. We got some really good competition. A couple of higher class cars up front. We got my teammate and my biggest nemesis behind me. You couldn't get it better than that. Can't wait for the start.
Nice.
I've tried both.
That's David Tuwati with TLM. We're going to come back here. We've got Reg Williams, this beautiful 008. Glad to have Reg Williams as kind of a regular for the first year in International GT. Stephen Hammond, that's who's going to be giving David Tuwati a lot of problems. He had a great race with us just a couple of weeks ago at Sebring. Really moving up through the field, Mark Matisse. Mark Matisse in this beautiful Porsche. I love the very visible liveries on these cars. Visit Put-in-Bay, Mark Matisse from Put-in-Bay. But then we're going to come back and talk to Jimmy Adams with Featherlight Coaches, this beautiful Porsche Cup car. This weekend, he's got Mike Skinner co-driving. So, Jimmy Adams, Featherlight Coaches, I know you're a big race fan. What's it like to be racing here in these Porsche Cup cars?
This is an incredible class, super tight competition, awesome cars. Love the Porsche Cup car. And then we get the added bonus of tomorrow doing Enduro. I'm driving with a legend, NASCAR legend tomorrow, Mike Skinner. Can't wait, man.
I love it. So Mike Skinner, you know, I know you as NASCAR Cup Series on the pole at Daytona 500 and the NASCAR Cup. These things, what in the world are you doing? That's kind of a big change.
Oh, these things are a lot of fun. They stop, they turn, and they go. Those are 3 things that a cup car don't do in the NASCAR series. They won't stop, they won't turn, they just want to spin the wheels. So these cars are so much fun to drive. And, you know, Jimmy, I can't say enough. Sebring was his first race, this will be his second one. He's improved 1,000%, and he set fast times. So I'm pretty pumped about today's race.
Nice, I love it. Mike Skinner, NASCAR legend here. Like we were talking about, we've got like 39 to 40 cars here. We're going to look in Lucas Pank in the 4-0 Bay Saver Technologies car with Ultra Performance. His dad is on pole, Tom Pank, up there in the 4-2. But we'll walk up the field. We're going to come up here, Jody Miller. Oh, look at that. I love it. Thumbs up. Seems like you're ready to race.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go. We're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody's going to be safe. And we're going to work our way right to the front.
Nice. I love it. He said he's on his way to the front. Thank you. We're going to come up here, Jody Miller. Jody Miller with Pippa Man. Jody, you've been with us a few events. How does it feel to be out there in International GT?
This is just a great series. Wonderful time. Everybody's awesome out here. The track is great. It's going to be cold and fast. Really excited about this group.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Have a great race. So this is going to be a really exciting race. I want to point out John Patrick Mullaney. We've got in-car going to be following around this beautiful white Ferrari in the Maranello Cup. And you can tell the differences. He's a Ferrari from Maranello Cup. That's going to be our in-car out there. Let's talk to some of his crew. Are you with John Patrick? Are you with John Patrick Mullaney?
Yes, sir.
So he's one of the lone Ferraris, but he's running our in-car. What are you telling him with the Porsches? Because they brake differently, they accelerate differently. What's his strategy out there?
To drive his own line and be consistent.
Drive his own line and be consistent. A man of few words. John Patrick, how's it feel to be out there in the camera car? Is that extra pressure?
No, not extra pressure. Nope, I just pay attention to what I'm doing and I leave the camera, I ignore the camera. But it's, yeah, we had it in there at Sebring. It didn't bother me too much. It was fine, I just have to watch what I say.
I love it, reaching in, trying to get it to go. It is super loud down here because we're about probably 4 or 5 minutes from going out. I'm getting 5 minutes on the grid, so Jonathan, I'm gonna rush up and join you up in the booth. Can't wait for the first race, International GT at the Atlanta SpeedTour. This should be fantastic, awesome racing. So Jonathan, I'm sending it to you, buddy.
Excellent stuff, Ben Sissel, as always. And as you can see, a beautiful day here at Road Atlanta as we get ready for our first race here on the live stream. And it's a cracker. The IGT Championship under Ken Vangler's tutelage, if you will, and organisation has been superb. If you look down from the drone right now, we're on the second floor looking out down the pre-grid and looking at both the last corner and the first corner. So really looking forward to this one. It's breezy, it's chilly actually, decisively so, because the sun is shining and we're expecting to get into the 60s here in Braselton, just outside Atlanta. And we will do 2 pace laps for this huge field. As we look down, there's, as you can see in the bottom right, there's some show cars being shown off, and that's a nice view of the paddock there, which is our Trans Am paddock in the lower part, and then above there is the SVRA and IGT paddock. Talking of IGT, let me tell you about it. The Stuttgart Cup, as you saw, plenty of Porsches out there, and they are made in Stuttgart. So the Stuttgart Cayman Cup, and there is one of those cars. And we also have the Mission Foods GT3 Cup Championship, and that's for GT 3.6 litres, GT 3.8, GT4 and GT4R, as well as the exhibition. Then the Maranello Cup, like you heard from Ben, not a lot of Ferraris out there, but this is a championship open for Ferrari 360, Ferrari 430s, and Ferrari 458 and 458 GT. And last year here at Maranello, it really was a case of Pilgrim's Progress, because all 3 races were won by Andy Pilgrim. He won both the feature races 1 and 2, and then finished it off with a brilliant display in the Enduro as well. So Andy Pilgrim, definitely a man to watch, a man on a mission, so to speak. In fact, Andy Pilgrim, Corey Friedman and Mark Sandridge were the winners in the first race last year. Andy Pilgrim, Corey Friedman, and then Reg Williams in race 2. Andy Pilgrim, Tom Pank, and Danny Lowry, who now races, of course, with us in Trans Am. Those were your winners, and I was just telling everyone it was kind of a case of Pilgrim's Progress last year, Ben Sissel, because Andy Pilgrim won every race there was.
Yeah, and that's pretty normal for Andy Pilgrim. He's a legend. And this year he thought he'd switch it up a little bit. He's going to be in our Stuttgart class, our Cayman S's. And Porsche just released those new 4-liter Caymans, which I think, and Ray Evernham, we were talking about it yesterday, may be the best car you can buy right off the floor in a race. And Andy Pilgrim in a Cayman is going to be crazy. We look right here to Tom Pank, pole position. His 2 sons are going to be in this race with us. I'm looking around. Do we have grid sheets down here yet?
Not yet. Lucas Pank is obviously the son of Tom, and like you say, family affair. But Andy Pilgrim leading the championship at the moment with, 82.5 points as we stand. Russell Wittenberg in second place with 75, and Anthony Bartone. Joe Rizzo, and then leading the Mission Foods GT3 Cup, that is Thomas Pank with 80.5. Pedro Torres and Marcel Fayan in third position with Stephen Hammond. Pretty breezy out there and quite chilly actually. Pace car heading out, our Honda Civic.
It is. I'm trying to open up. We're getting an email. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to open up these grid sheets, but there they go into Big Machine Vodka. Turn 1. There goes Dave Tuati, Reg Williams, Stephen Hammond, Mark Matisse. There's Juan Gonzalez with Mission Foods, Jimmy Adams, and I'm going to let you take it over. Keep announcing those. You've got that open there, Jonathan.
Yeah, I got it here. Just to confirm, Tom Pank in pole, Corey Friedman, and they were first and second. Corey Friedman was second here last year. David Tuati in third position. Reg Williams on the podium here last year. He'll be doing the Enduro with Tom Long. Stephen Hammond, as you mentioned, fifth there. Mark Mathis and Mike Skeen is entered for the Enduro. And, of course, Mike Skeen currently in TA2. Juan Gonzalez in seventh. And then Jimmy Adams, who you spoke to just a moment ago, the man from the Featherlight Coaches, is in 8th position. Not bad.
Ooh, Reg Williams just takes out my Optima.
What the heck?
Brake marker.
What's that all about? This is meant to be a siding lap, not a destroy lap.
I don't know what happened. But now we have a great shot of those water bags that I used to weight down those brake markers, showing the drivers that they're not going to do any damage to the cars. But didn't want to show it that way. So Reg Williams, I don't know what happened there, but I tell you what, it is really cold outside, cold tires, and I think Reg Williams just wanted to make sure that he made our live stream.
You reckon?
That's very uncharacteristic of Reg Williams, one of our great drivers. He visits us, used to visit us just a few events a year, but it looks like he's doing the whole season, which it's great to have him out here in that 008.
Yeah, and this is a good view from high above of the Braselton circuit, famous for its Petit Le Mans. So these cars very familiar with racing here in October. That's their big event. But this one is going to be a cracking way to start our weekend of SVRA and Trans Am Speed Tour.
Now we do have 2 pace laps. Have you gone through the field, Jonathan?
Not completely, no.
Yeah,
I got down to 10th if you want to pick it up.
Let's go through the... I don't have it. Let's go through the field if you don't mind.
Yeah, starting with then in pole position, Tom Pank in the 42. Corey Friedman in second. David Tuati in third in the number 68. Reg Williams, Tom Long. Stephen Hammond in fifth. Now we see what happened. He just... Yeah, weird. Just cold tires, yep. Then Mark Mathis and Mike Skeen. Juan Gonzalez in the 81 and 7th. Jimmy Adams 8th. Brady Berman in 9th. Jody Miller and Pippa Mann in 10th position. Juan Fayan in 11th. Brian Sisley in, is it Sisley? I'll get it right in a minute. Robert Wisen, Andrew Davis, Marcel Fayan in 14th. Ricardo Stewart Milne in 15th. Scott Dager in the number 39 in 16th. James Hammond in 17th in the 176. Lucas Pank, you mentioned him earlier, in 18th position in the number 40. And then Carlos Jose Miguel in 19th position. Stephen Dunn is 20th. Ben Johnston is 21st. John Patrick Mullaney, who you got a quick word with in that 4.58, is 22nd. Alejandro Pimentel in 23rd place. Alejandro Chawan in 24th. David Kuchuri in 25th. Javier Ripoll in 26th place. Tim Savage behind him in 27th. Bill Aaron, Thomas Ballister, and then Rob Metka. And further down, Tim Haynes, Norm Goldridge, Carmen Rapucci, Chris Lee in the 227, Albert Luskazik, and Stephen McClear. Nicholas Pank, the other Pank, that's 3 in all. 35th in the number 41, David Willens in 36th place in the 981. 902 is Jack and Phil Gilsdorf, and then Nicholas Karangelen. And finally, in 39th position in the 111, Steve Dunn in the GT 3.6 Porsche.
I love it. 39 cars in this field. He's running exhibition there in that beautiful Alpha R8. he wouldn't be running an exhibition if we had Geronimo Guzman here and Juan Lopez Santini. Unfortunately, they're not here, but they have Audi R8s, but we need a certain amount to be running for points. But he's out here running, giving us a great show as they come down to green, Jonathan.
Here we go, down the hill at Road Atlanta, and it's the all-green pole position man who leads them away. The green flag waves, 39 cars stream down the hill for the first time and head towards turn 1.
Look at Corey Friedman looking ahead at Tom Pank now. Remember, these are cold tires, so they go side by side into turn 1. There's a good shot there, Lucas Pank. 40 as they come up as we ride on board here with Patrick Mullaney, John Patrick Mullaney in the 458 Ferrari Challenge car. Watch the steering wheel down there at the bottom. That's showing the input as Tom Pank takes the lead, our pole sitter in that beautiful 4R.
Yeah, he got a great start. Came down the hill and got a march on Corey Friedman in second place, David Tuati in third, Gonzalez in fourth place, and Mark Mathis in fifth. So the field already spreading out as they head down towards the back of the circuit. And it's a long way back there, and then they run all the way back down to turn 10, where we pick them up again, and that, of course, is the most obvious place to overtake, but there are other places like here.
Yeah, Mission Foods turn 7 is a great place for overtaking. Turn 8, the turn that you see them on right now at the top left of your screen, is probably the most important turn because it sets you up for this long, twisty straightaway.
Yeah.
It's not quite straight, as you can see right there as we follow along with Juan Gonzalez, Mark Matisse, and then Stephen Hammond. I'm not sure what happened to Stephen Hammond to be starting back there. Stephen Hammond's in that 7-2. That's Mark Matisse there in that beautiful white 7-7. Coming up the hill under the bridge.
Under the bridge, he's going for an overtake. Ooh, he got blocked there, though. And he has to sit back and wait for it. Lovely shot from the drone as they head down past our commentary position. But now comes the Martini car again, looking for a way past at turn 1 this time in the 72. Can't quite do it again. So this is good racing between the two of them. And this is a battle for, what, 6th place at the moment?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's Jimmy Adams right behind him. He's the front of the field in the 3.8 with Featherlight Coaches and Steve Hammond in that 4-liter. Mark Matisse in the 4.1. That's basically leader. And then here comes Juan Gonzalez ahead of them coming into Mission Foods turn 7.
Yeah, and 10 points for a win, and you've got in terms of a championship of 10 races, you've got to compete in 6 to be able to go for the championship. So any of those 6 points, any of those 6 races count towards the championship. And like we said, 3 different championships: the Stuttgart, the Maranello, and the Mission Foods GT3 Cup.
So we're on board with our Fixie Wheels camera.
Ooh, nice move.
John Patrick Mullaney, great move there into Mission Foods turn 7. But look at the steering wheel and the input that he is giving, and the telemetry there inside the speedometer. Lots of data showing us. And watch his hands. He looks perfectly relaxed. So Steve Hammond on the inside of Mark Matisse, Jonathan.
Finally does it at 10A. That's the classic overtake here at Road Atlanta before going up the hill and under the bridge. And he does it with aplomb. And 14 minutes to go. And at the moment, on the march, Stephen Hammond in that all-red 72.
So look for him to start moving up as they come into Big Machine Vodka, Spike Coolers turn 1 as we focus in. There's Jimmy Adams with Featherlight Coaches 343 in a 3.8 liter, showing these 4.1 liters his fast line around the track.
Yeah, currently in 7th position. Just 10 seconds off the lead. It spread out quickly. That's what surprised me after only just 3 laps. Look at how quickly the field has spread out all the way down to 10th place, 15 seconds between them.
It's a cold day here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, so that means for some cold tires, look for them to start improving on their times on these Pirelli P0s. But what a great field of cars here. As they come in here to Mission Foods turn 7, there's Jody. Here's another one of our Maranello Cup competitors. Ken Fangler's going to be joining us here in the booth in a little bit. But, Jonathan, this is really turning out to be a great race throughout the field.
Yeah, it's spreading out, like I said, but we've got some good little pockets of racing throughout. Tom Pank starting to pull ahead. He's got a 1.9-second lead over Corey Friedman. They were both very good here last year, and I think I can tell by the excitement of you talking to all of them. It sounds like they've been locked up for a couple of years waiting to go racing. Ken's joining us now, and I'm sure he's got some bit of update or stories for us. What's happening, Ken?
Well, I'm just happy to be here, happy to be part of the Speed Tour event, and with International GT. be careful what you wish for, as I've said a number of times. You know, here we are, you know, we had 40-something cars and we're 50-something this year, 2 groups, and some great racing. We look for a fantastic race this afternoon, this morning, and tomorrow. So a great weekend here.
And now watch for Stephen Hammond, the car here in front of Juan Gonzalez in that Mission Foods car. Steve Hammond and Dave Tuati, both with TLM, gave us some great shows at Sebring. So look for Stephen Hammond to try to hunt down that bright orange 4-liter of Dave Tuati. As we look there, there's Juan Gonzalez coming into Mission Foods. But I'm really impressed, Ken, with is that Lucas?
It's one of the Pank boys.
I think that's Lucas Pank there.
Well, he's beached it, and that's at 10A, I think.
I believe so.
Well, that'll be Super Late that's getting that shot, and I think, yeah, that's Lucas Pank in the 40, sadly.
10A is really tough to get right, especially on cold tires, on a cold track.
I got a feeling that's going to bring out the double yellow and a caution.
See, they're coming into 10A here, hard on the brakes, hard left turn to a right turn. There's Lucas here. We're seeing a replay.
Yeah, there you go. I think, yeah, he ran out of road, didn't he? Classic problem. You're coming downhill, you're braking heavily, like you say, potential of cold tires, and out he goes. And that will, I think, I'm going to check, but yes, the caution is out. So we're under caution here.
And I was looking at the film. It looked like he went way wide right. Might have been a little bit of a brake failure because he went into the grass and then into the gravel. And if you've that kitty litter, it's like the runaway truck ramps in the mountains. It will just suck the car in, and even if he was completely out of brakes, that will stop you pretty quick. It's going to make for some curved ultra performance. It's going to make for a bad afternoon for him to have to clean up all that gravel. But Ken, these huge fields that we're seeing in International GT, it is so much fun. This has to make you and Julie feel really proud.
Yeah, it's quite a long ways from when Bill Riddell and I started this with an idea, 9 years ago. And we struggled through the beginning years, but here we are in year 9 with record fields everywhere we've gone. And, we're very, very happy to have the customers, the teams, the drivers, and the sponsors, our marketing partners. We just saw a great shot from John Patrick Mullaney in the Ferrari, Maranello Cup in the Fixie camera car. Great to have Fixie on board as one of our new sponsors. Other new sponsors, Surface Transform Braking Systems. Great to have them. We'll see their camera car later on in the weekend. So
there it is.
It's been great. There we are, Fixie Wheels camera car on the Ferrari. John Patrick Mullaney. He's mid-pack somewhere.
And I was trying to explain to the viewers, which I'm sure you can do a little bit better, but we've had a lot of Audi R8s. But he's running, Corey Friedman is running Exhibition.
Yep.
Because, where's Santini? Where's Gooseman? They should be out here in their R8s.
Now, they would love to be, and unfortunately, they're a misstep start, not their fault, but mechanical issues at Sebring, with fire on both cars, really had sent them back to the drawing board. And so we look to see them at Road America, our next race. They're planning to be there, planning to be at Mid-Ohio. So we will see a greater field of Audis, I think, as the season goes on, and we look forward to, put them in a regular class, Stuttgart Cup class, and, they'll be running for a championship.
So, go ahead.
No,
Yeah, guys, I'm just interested. Obviously, 10:30 in the morning. It was chilly. It's going to be chilly. They're not going particularly fast here. Restart's going to be important on those tires.
Yeah, at least they got some heat in the tires. I mean, these cars have been sitting all overnight, even with tire warmers. I mean, if you're at 40 degrees starting ambient temperature, you may get another 10 out of them, but it's not going to be 70 degrees ambient temperature or tire or rim or brake temperature. So it takes a while. So the good news is they'll still be on warm tires, not up to actual race temp, but they'll be in pretty good shape.
And if you have a time, now it's always nice to look at actually a little bit closer. Obviously, you can see what gear he's in at the bottom, in the middle. You can see where the wheel is. You can see his best lap at 130.6 and his last lap at 159, obviously under caution. Then on the left-hand top screen, he shows where he is on track. GPS gives us that. And then on the bottom right, we can see the water temperature, we can see the throttle, we can see the brake, and we can also see the rev. So a great onboard there from the Ferrari and several other cars, giving us a real illustration as to how these guys go about their racing. Water temperature, 84 degrees. That's about right, isn't it?
Celsius, yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah,
As long as it's Celsius, yeah.
Yeah.
Heading down towards two very important corners. I stood on this corner yesterday. I hadn't realized how quickly you're on the power here, mid-corner, to just a blip before you head into a much tighter turn. But this, I think, is the key corner to Road Atlanta, getting out of this and onto the back straight.
Yeah, and there just never seems to be enough track on the outside.
No.
They add curbing and add this, and it seems you're always close to the dirt. And I think if you watch the replay of Lucas, I think what you might have happened there is that he got too close to the edge of the track, and when he got on the brake, all right, just an inch over there, and that difference didn't have the stopping power, and it hooked right and it sent him straight. He realized that he didn't have the stopping power to get slowed down to turn in towards the apex, because you see he just went straight. But the car, I think he was way out on the edge and just probably an inch over too far.
So down towards the 10A complex, and it's an interesting one, this. You're heavy braking and then a little blip, and then you've got to get on the gas again early to get up the hill, because you can lose a lot of ground from that. Here we go again. He was really wide, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was way out there. Yeah, yep.
All right, we're green flagging away, and away go the leaders again. And Tom Pank in a defensive position now, and look at this for a chance to overtake Corey Friedman, looking for it, can't quite pull it off. Yeah. And that was a good restart from Corey as they go back up the hill and over the crest and down through the S's. 6 minutes to go. Corey Friedman getting very racy, and I would say, Ken, this is probably his best hope this lap of getting past Pank.
I don't know, but Tom's making it interesting, isn't he? As he always does, both in the paddock and on the racetrack. So good racing from two very good, accomplished drivers, enjoying the moment of being on the racetrack.
But look behind him. You've got David Tuati and Stephen Hammond in the 4-liter class fighting for, and then Juan Gonzalez. So this could shape up to be quite a good race here.
Yeah, I'm sure, David the master, Stephen the student, but boy, Stephen's really come on, strong, good young driver, and he's given the opportunity of David to drive in the rearview mirror for a lot of these races.
I see a debris flag on the track there at turn 8. As we come down, Juan Gonzalez looking on the back of Stephen Hammond coming into 10A, 10B.
Yeah, this is a good battle. He's got time to do it as well. 5 minutes to go in this one. This is the first of 3 races here this weekend. Another one later today and another big enduro tomorrow.
Bob Wyson there on the inside of 10A takes the position. Good to see Bob Wyson out here. Another one of your Ohio players.
Yeah, good move. That long time participant with International GT. I think he does every race with us, and he's been with us for about 5 or 6 years. Great to have him.
Tom Pank upping the pace on that last lap. He did a 1:24.1 to Corey's 1:24.7. That's Friedman in second place in the Audi. So if Tom can keep that pace, he should keep the gap as it is at the moment, which is 0.7, and that will give him the race win here. Pank, Friedman, and Tuati. Tuati is in 3rd position, then Hammond, Gonzalez. That's a good battle there, and Skeen shown in 6th place in the 77.
Yeah, Juan's feeling very racy. He must have had an extra bag of chips last night at the party, man. Oh man! I mean, he must have got off that medium and mild salsa and went with
the hot salsa.
Went to the extra hot because he's hot on the track this morning.
All right.
On board here with John Patrick Mullaney and the Fixie Wheels camera car. You can see there, the turn 7 is a little bit banked, and then turn 8, this is where you have to watch him get onto the throttle here, hard onto the throttle, because this sets you up for this long straightaway. And it's funny that we call this a straightaway because there are turns in it, but it's pretty much flat out for every class of car.
It's a long way too. If you've ever done it in a road car or any other, it takes a long time to get to the bottom of that hill.
Yep.
And we're doing just that now, coming into 10A. This is where that incident with young Pank took place, and that brought out the caution. Only one caution and 3 minutes to go as we take a look at the 008 of Reg Williams.
Reg Williams took out one of my apex markers earlier on the pace lap, and back on the gas there. Looks like nothing's wrong with it, so we know those things can break away, and he's giving Mark Matisse a run for his money right now. 3 longtime IGT competitors as they come in to Mission Foods Turn 7.
How about this at the front? It really is hotting up nicely between Pank and Friedman in the Audi and the Porsche. In fact, there's nice little mini battles all the way back to Jimmy Adams there in the all-black 343.
I'm impressed with Jimmy Adams keeping up with these cars in that 3.8.
He had a respectable showing at Sebring, was in the top 10, but had some very, very good laps. So I'm surprised, but not surprised. He's obviously a very good driver, got a good car under him, and so, you know, don't be surprised. See him in the top 5 probably throughout the weekend.
Ooh, a mistake there by the leader. No question about it. As he got out of 10A, he had a little wiggle on, and that's allowed the Audi to catch up. In a straight line, they both seem to be on par, but the Audi just very good under braking, and this is the closest he's been with 2 minutes to go.
Well, this is what you look for, that mistake or bobble. This is the chess match right here.
Audi R8.
Beautiful car.
It is, isn't it? It's not often you see the Audi R8 in a straight fight with the Porsche like this, and it's great to see. Very different cars, but so successful world over.
Yeah, I can tell you this about Tom Pank, though. I hope Corey Friedman knows Tom Pank and knows him well, because Tom Pank can make that car really wide.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little too wide.
Yeah, no,
now, look at him go.
Yeah.
Coming down to the right-hander. He's taking the outside line. He's going to get a good swing shot here, a slingshot here. And now I think he's going to tuck himself in right behind Tom Pank as they go down the back straight together.
Yeah, he should have the advantage with the draft here as we follow along this fixie wheels. Look at these S's here. This is really tough to get right downhill. Cold tires, or cold atmosphere, I guess. Maybe their tires have heated up. Then back up. Great in-cars from fixie wheels, and here they come.
This is it. Chance for an overtake for the lead. Here comes the Audi. Looks to the inside. Can't quite do it. Pank holds on. And there's still time as they come towards the line again and down the hill under the bridge. And now he's going to have to build again. But it's pretty close between these two as they head down towards the Big Machine Spike Coolers Turn 1.
I think Corey's playing a little chess here, Ken. Knowing Corey and he knows Tom Pank pretty well, he's going to try to set that up, I think, at turn 8. He's going to stay right behind him, take that different line. He takes a wide late apex at turn 7, set him up for turn 8, try to get the draft, and take him at turn 10A.
That's what he did last time. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think you've got it nailed.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Pank, though, very good through the S's here. And this is where he's building that gap, and he gets very close. This is the area you're talking about at the end of this part as he comes into 7. You can see that wide line.
Late apex there. And ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about him running an exhibition. Exhibition on paper. As soon as they get on track, there's no exhibition class for the overall win. No. It's just racing.
Yeah, it's the car in front of you. Or in Tom's case, behind you.
Yes.
So the clock ticking down on this cracking race here, race 1 of 3. And here they come, down towards 10A. And actually, Pank done a good job of getting the gap in. And that really doesn't give Friedman real chances to overtake, does it?
No. Tom's going to have to make a mistake for Friedman to have a chance.
Yep.
And there is the checkered flag, and the all green and blue of Tom Pank takes the victory in the number 42, ahead of Corey Friedman in the 014. Tawadi comes across the line in 3rd in the 68, and Hamann in 4th in the number 72. Gonzalez, a good result in 5th, and Skeen rounds out the top 6.
Good race once we got Lucas out of the kitty litter. It was good start to the weekend. I think those guys could be proud of the race they just ran. They did a good job.
Yeah, and we hate to see incidents at all in International GT, but single car incidents, I know that's what you're looking for if there isn't a mishap like that. And knowing Ultra Performance and Kurt over there, they're going to get that car back out for the next session.
Yep. Well, they know one thing. They don't have to do too much to Tom's car, to Dad's car on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Just polish it.
Yeah, he's got the steed ready to run. There's our fixie in-car camera wheel car. It is the Ferrari of John Patrick Mullaney. I'd like to thank all our sponsors, Mission Foods, Sunoco Race Fuels, Interlaken, Pirelli.
Yeah, and that car finishing 20th overall. Any real surprises? I don't think so.
I don't know. I'll have to look down through the grid. It's such a large grid.
I know.
I used to be easy. I had it on 1 sheet. Now it goes to 2 sheets, and I'm going to be running out of here and get to the grid.
Juan Gonzalez, 7th overall.
Well, as long as you're not 3 sheets.
Right, yeah. That's
here in this wind.
That's to the wind, yes, right. Yeah.
We're here all week. Anyway, Great result for Tom Pank. Sadly, his son not making it, causing a little bit of drama going into the gravel there and causing the caution, the one and only caution. But a good race, and we've seen some nice views from the 458 challenge car.
Gentlemen, I'm going to say farewell for the moment. Yep. I'm going to head down to the grid for the next race, and great start to the weekend. Yeah, we look forward. This would be fantastic. So everyone out there watching, I hope they enjoyed this, and stay tuned because SVRA, Trans Am, IGT, all coming up all this weekend. And thanks, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the Saturday and Sunday.
Pleasure to have you on board. Thanks, Ken. And like he says, there'll be another feature race coming up today for the IGT. My thanks also, of course, to Ben Sissel. So we'll take a short break here as everybody else does the same. We'll be right back from Road Atlanta. Stay with us.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Welcome back, and as you can see, the car's back in Parc Ferme, or at least back in the pre-paddock, and you can see that breeze in the background. That's keeping things rather cool, and I actually think I listened to the weather last night in Atlanta, and that was for downtown Atlanta, but obviously we're not that far, and they were talking about the potential of gusts of up to 45 miles an hour. So as we watch these flags as the day goes on, beautifully put up by Ben Sissel, I may add, and you can see pretty strong wind already early in the morning, and we're expecting it to get a little bit worse, which does become a factor, especially when you come over the crest at 1, maybe down the back straight as well, out of 8 and then down towards 10A. So we'll keep an eye on that for you, but other than that, the conditions are absolutely perfect.
All right, well, thank you. This is a crazy group here. We were talking about International GT expanding. That's the 427. Anthony Bartoni, we saw Andy Pilgrim up there in the number 4. This is a continuation of International GT, and if you've been following along, Porsche has released these 4-liter Caymans that are just monsters. We're looking at the Caymans that are 3.8s. Thomas Kopczynski is running Exhibition in the 520 right here in this green car. Community Beer Works in the Stuttgart Cup. But this is Group 6, Group 12, and Cayman, which if you follow along with SVRA, that's a kind of a crazy group. So, Scott, if you don't mind, explain what Group 6 is.
Well, Group 6 is going to be the combination of a large and small bore. It is 12B. That's Group 6 is the Trans Am cars and big bore cars, and we have a big bore car, Scott Borchetta, that is going for his 26th straight win coming up on this feature race.
Yeah, so to have these modern Porsches that have some of the brake assist, driver aids, modern technology in these beautiful GT sports cars, racing against 50, 60-year-old American muscle cars, that is going to be quite a combination, because Scott Borchetta's out there in a 1969 Chevrolet Corvette, and these are 2019, 2020 Porsche Caymans. So we're going to see, this is going to be definitely a battle of handling versus horsepower as we look there at the Fixie Wheels camera here in this RS1. Beautiful Porsche. I believe that's Joe Rizzo and Spencer Pompelli in that 3.8 Cayman.
And then those two Porsche Caymans that you're talking about at the top of the show, that is Andy Pilgrim and his student, Anthony Bartone. It is Andy Pilgrim who has joined up with Anthony Bartone and kind of mentoring him. And Bartone has been a very good student here at Road Atlanta. They've been the top 2 times and top 2 drivers in the Cayman class.
Yeah, Andy Pilgrim, who was with us the last 2 years in International GT in the Maranello Cup in a red Ferrari, driving for Ski Autosports, now is going to be with us in this Cayman 3.8. And this is going to be a really fun race to watch. Now, we are going to do a split start with the Caymans. They'll be up front, followed by our Group 12. So I believe that number 4-8 there should be Tony Ave, a Trans Am champion, a snowmobile champion, snowmobile racing champion, many-time SCCA national championship winner. And then there is a red Ferrari there. That is the Chris Hall 2000 Ferrari 360 Challenge. These are both Group 12 cars. So Group 12 cars are cars that are basically 72 or newer, usually over 3 liter, and there is the one of Scott Borchetta. He's wearing the one because he is our champion in Group 6 last year. I don't mean to put out the commentator's curse, but that car, we think, hasn't lost since 2000, not lost, but hasn't gotten anything but first place since 2019. Actually, really well-prepared car.
Actually, it goes back further than that because that particular car, they changed the classes. He used to run in B production and A production in this very car when it was the number 98. He has not lost since 2018 at Brainerd and has not lost in the GT class since last year at Sebring, a perfect record.
That's unbelievable. That's kind of a miracle in vintage racing. These cars, a 1969 high horsepower car, not only is it really tough to keep them moving and to keep them mechanically sound, but then also the driver focus it takes to make sure that he doesn't put a wheel wrong, as we're on board with putting a wheel wrong right here with cold tires. I believe that's Joe Rizzo or Spencer Pompelli doing a 360 out there for us, doing a little stunt driving. It was a good recovery.
Yeah, those cold tires, we've been having colder temperatures up here. We were up here 2 weeks ago for an SCCA club race, and the cold temperatures really caught a lot of drivers out. It's been catching some of these drivers out as well. It's going to take at least one full lap, maybe 2, to get heat in these tires where you can get some grip.
Yeah, these Pirelli P0s, fantastic tires, but they recommend that you start out on such low temperatures. I was talking to Butch Leitzinger about this. Butch helps out with Juan Gonzalez, and they had tire warmers on their car. So I asked him if it really makes a difference, and he says with these conditions it especially does, because you have to run the tires at such low pressures that when they heat up, they get to normal operating pressures. The first couple laps are really treacherous, but if you have tire warmers, you don't have to do that so much, and that's why we saw Juan Gonzalez really jump out in today's earlier race just a couple of minutes ago. But look at all these Caymans. I love seeing the Stuttgart Cup and the Porsche Cayman and IGT really growing. This is going to be a fun race to watch, Scott.
Yeah, William Wachs, who has been the defending series champion for the Stuttgart Cup for many years, he's not here this weekend, but we have a good field that is, again, Andy Pilgrim and Anthony Bartone. Pilgrim had an undefeated season last year in Maranello Cup as he won 21 straight races in that Ski Autosports Ferrari, and he's looking to hopefully make that streak in the Caymans as well. But a lot more competition here in the Caymans than he had in the Ferrari F488 that he ran last year.
So what we're talking about in a split start, if this is your first time joining us, and please feel free to leave comments, questions on our Facebook or YouTube. We will be monitoring that throughout the day. But a split start, so we put all the Caymans up front, and then we tell the leaders, Tony Ave and Chris Hall, to put a gap between them. So there'll be 2 green flags as they come through. There's going to be 2 pace laps. So let's run through the field, starting in first position, Andy Pilgrim in a 2019 Porsche Cayman. Anthony Bartone in a 2019 Porsche Cayman. And third is Joe Rizzo and Spencer Pompelli. Let's see if they were able to take that third or fourth back, maybe. Looks like he's coming outside there. Thomas Kopczynski is in the 2019 in fourth place. Kevin Maxim in fifth, 2020 Porsche Cayman. Al Lasorte in a 2020 Porsche Cayman. Maria Mejia in a 2020 Porsche Cayman. Thomas Begoni in a 2019 Porsche Cayman. In ninth is Steve Denton, 2016 Porsche Cayman. And Russell Wittenberg in 10th is our last 2009 Porsche Cayman in the Stuttgart Cup split start. Then in 12 and 6, it's Tony Ave in a 1996 Nissan 350Z. Chris Hall in a 2000 Ferrari 360 Challenge. Then in Group 6 GT is that 1969 Chevrolet Corvette of Scott Borchetta. Followed in our third Group 12 Dodge Viper 2010 Jerry Robinson. Neville Agas is a Group 12 1994 Ford Mustang Saline. Renee Tersilla 2017 Ford Mustang FP350S, beautiful Shelby. Jeff Lindstrom in a 1998 Ford Mustang Coupe. Both of them are with Griffin Autosports out of South Florida. We've got a Pontiac Firebird out there. Scott Graham, one of my favorite Group 6 cars, the 169 1969 Pontiac Firebird. E-Type Jaguar of Scott Hawley in 19th. Beautiful car. Rob Trollinger in a 87 911. Rick Ortman, Group 12 Chevrolet Corvette. John Cloud in a 1970 Boss 302. Beautiful SVRA blue. Dennis Genovese in a 1998 Pontiac Firebird. So 2 Pontiacs in this field. That's kind of rare. And then starting in 24th is Brad Herring in that 73 Datsun 240Z. I know you've been an announcer here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, but how about this diverse field of cars, Scott?
Yeah, this is quite a diverse field. You have 3.8-liter Porsche Caymans with a 3.4-liter Russell Wittenberg, and that is the first half of the split start. Then you have the Chevrolet Corvette 1969 350Z, driven by two-time GT Trans Am champion Tony Ave, as well as two-time national champion. He won it in 2020 at VIR. Almost had a third, but a flat tire robbed him of that. As we're coming up to the start, Ben.
Here they go. They take the green flag. Let's see what happens here.
Well, they're side by side already. That is the student and the pupil, and the teacher, rather. It is Pilgrim and Bartoni side by side, Ben, as they go up through turn 1, watching for the second half of the split start coming up.
Looks like everybody going through Atlanta turn 1 a little bit gingerly in the Stuttgart Cup as they come down these downhill and uphill S's. Very challenging races here. It was a great green flag start in this Cayman Stuttgart Cup with International GT.
Here comes the second half of the split start, Ben.
As we watch the Caymans coming into turn 7. Looks like we have a local yellow there at turn 6. But that's Joe Rizzo up front. And I'm not sure if he jumped the start. From my eyes, it looked like he jumped the start as Tony Ave. Scott Borchetta going to turn 1. There's that beautiful car of Scott Graham in that 169 Pontiac. Renee Tersilla was able to take a position there going into turn 1. So we've got modern American muscle cars fighting against vintage American muscle cars with some European Porsches as we look here. Coming down into 10A, 10B. I think what happened there is Joe Rizzo heard on the radio, hey, you're going to have to get those positions back. That was a little bit of a jump start there as we follow along here.
Yeah, Rizzo's already having an adventuresome race so far, isn't he, Ben?
Yeah, yes. On the cold tires on the warm-up lap as we follow along here with the fight between Anthony Bartoni and Andy Pilgrim up front. And there's the 520 of Thomas Kopczynski.
A little bit further back in the GT, that Pontiac Firebird, that has been the fastest qualifier yesterday's qualifying session, as well as the practice. That is a 1969 Pontiac Firebird, and it was created to fight along with the Ford Boss 302 Mustang. And John Cloud, 2018 SVRA Driver of the Year. Cloud has been just a little bit off the pace, but as the sessions have gone on, Cloud has gotten a little bit stronger and been able to fight with that Pontiac Firebird.
Great start here in the Cayman Group, the Stuttgart Cup. Andy Pilgrim was out front, which is pretty normal for us. Andy Pilgrim, you know, famous race car driver, races and everything. He didn't panic. He knew that the driver took the probably jumped the start and knew that it was going to be called back. He always a cool head with Andy Pilgrim. There is Jerry Robinson in that beautiful green Dodge Viper coming up the hill.
Yeah, that's a 2010 Dodge Viper. This is a Dodge Viper that was, I believe, the fourth generation of the Viper, 2008 through 2010. This is the most developed part of that particular run. It's at an 8.4-liter V10 engine that makes over 600 horsepower. Robinson won the 2 races last week, and then would have won the Enduro, except that he had a tire issue, went 5 laps down with co-driver Dylan Archer in the Enduro, fought back and almost took the win, came up just about a half lap short. But Robinson, a longtime SVRA competitor, and he has won the Bell Helmet Championship. That is the SVRA Vintage Gold and Bell helmets given out for the National Championship. He has won that the last 4 years, as well as winning the last 4 year Sprint Points champion. 12A MP3 is the class for that Dodge Viper.
Great pass there we just watched on board with the 520, Thomas Kopczynski. So now we're on board with Joe Rizzo, but there he is, Thomas Kopczynski coming up here. This is a really challenging part of Road Atlanta as they come through these S's. What do you think is the key here, Scott, at Road Atlanta? What are the drivers telling you?
Well, the key here is to not overstep your boundaries. You know, this is a very fast, challenging course. It was designed by Charlie Earwood, partly by my dad, Ed Conway, and David Sawyer and Earl Walker, who brought this course to North Georgia. But just not overstepping your boundaries. You know, you have colder temperatures. You need to be sure the tires are up to temperature. It's a very fast course. There's not a lot of runoff room if you do go off course. The key turn here is probably turn number 7. That is the slowest turn at Mission Raceway Road Atlanta, but also the most important because it leads onto that long back straightaway, and you go up and down through some elevation changes and get into that hard braking area 10A and 10B. This is a very challenging course. You could really pick any turn and say that was the most difficult turn here. This is very famous for off-camber turns, blind turns. Turn 1 has 2 different entry points, but the exit point. And just when you need more room, it's a reducing radius turn just to make it more fun. You don't have that room, and you're also having to get all the way back over to the right to set up for turns 2 and 3, which are blind. So to answer your question, the short answer would be turn 7. That's the most important turn here at Mission Raceway Road Atlanta.
So Kevin Maxim there in that blue Cayman going up the hill. Caught up to Joe Rizzo, and then Joe Rizzo's been able to gap him. You can see the camera's struggling to keep these cars in frame. It's really windy there up on the hill. It's really windy and cold here as we've got this mixed group of racing, because it looks like these Caymans just took a step back in time and are passing Bob Sharp here on this short little chute into Mission Foods Turn 7.
Yeah, that's the number 33 of Brad Herring. Brad's father, Roy, handles the PDX classes in our SCCA club races, and that is reminiscent of the Bob Sharp Racing Datsun 240Zs that were famous here at Mission Raceway Road Atlanta, called Road Atlanta back in the day, as we hosted the runoffs for 23 straight years. And Bob Sharp and those Datsuns with famous drivers Jim Fitzgerald, Bob Sharp himself, his son Scott Sharp, along with Paul Newman, they always did battle with the Group 44 Triumphs that were brought in by the Group 44 team, Brian Furstenau and Bob Tullius and John Kelly and John McComb.
Kevin Maxim looks inside there, but isn't able to take it. Now side by side in the car. That's a really treacherous part to make that pass, Kevin, because the cars get really light, and then they compress here down into turn 12, but it looks like Kevin's got it. What a great pass.
Wow, he must have got a really good run coming through. Only way you can get up that close coming out from underneath the Fox Factory Bridge. Again, a 4-story drop from turn 11 down to the bottom at turn 12 just before the start-finish line. And going into the turn number 1, it looks like Maxim trying to mount possibly a re-challenge to that position. But it is very challenging here at Road Atlanta. Again, turns 2 and 3 are blind, and you kind of line up turn 3 to go down and up through the S's. Turn 5 is a left-hander where you don't really need to go over to the rumble strips. Actually, a late apex coming through turn 5 gets you a better run through turn 6 and 7. And then we talked about coming out of turn 7 down that long back straightaway, Ben.
Yeah, I'd love to get some shots of the Group 12, Group 6 cars as they come in through here, because I just heard Borchetta roar by. Tony Ave has put the fastest lap by far. He's 1:25.60. He's in that beautiful Nissan Z from I think it's a 1998, if I'm not correct, but he's that was a many-time national championship car. There's Scott Borchetta coming up through the S's. Here comes Jerry Robinson. Look at this battle right here. Ford Mustang, Dodge Viper.
Reminiscent of the Trans Am that we'll see later on today. Manufacturer battle, Dodge against the Ford.
And there's our Group 6 champ, 6 GT, Scott Borchetta. Back to the livery that Corvette originally raced over in Europe.
Yeah, I got used to looking at it. It's a 98. And when we got to Sebring, it was number 1. I thought, is that the same car? And it was. It just different livery. Tony Ave in that Nissan 350Z, that is the car that James Goffrey used here back in the day at Road Atlanta to win a national championship. Was always one of the top runners in the GT2 class in SCCA. Ave winning his GT1 championship in 1998 and then repeated in 2020 at VIR. Ave, always a very quick driver, clinched his 2010 Trans Am championship right here at Road Atlanta when Road Atlanta was the last stop on the Trans Am series. The Dodge Viper of Jerry Robinson, usually Scott Borchetta's stiffest competition here is Robinson and Borchetta. They have had some really good battles, but Borchetta looks like he has that well in hand in this particular race.
On board again in this Fixie Wheels camera car with our RS1. I believe that is Joe Rizzo and the Spencer Pompelli car.
Yeah, we have a lot of great co-drivers that will be in the Enduro on Sunday morning. Spencer Pompelli, one of them. Tom Long, one of the factory Mazda DPI drivers, are here. Pippa Mann. We have a lot of great drivers. Stephen McAleer also co-driving in some of the Caymans and in the Enduro on Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's always kind of a who's who of professional race car drivers in our paddock, which is a lot of fun to see. We've got Ray Evernham walking around here this weekend. Wally Dallenbach Jr. is going to be in some cars here later, so it's really fun. Al Unser Jr., I've heard, is on premises, so it's going to be a lot of fun here at the Atlanta SpeedTour.
Yeah, Ave currently the class of the Group 6 and 12 field. Andy Pilgrim, who was an ex-factory Cadillac driver, won the 2005, I believe it was, World Challenge for the then it was also, he was a factory driver for Chevrolet Corvette, had a number of 24-hour Daytona and 12 hours of Sebrings wins with Frank Freon and the late Dale Earnhardt. He was in that car when Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ran at the Daytona 24-hour.
Well, there's Scott Borchetta, our champ, going up, running the fittingly #1 as the champ. And beautiful new paint scheme on there. Talking to Dylan Hellman, his crew chief, they barely got that thing finished before Sebring. And I even asked him, I said, well, are you nervous? Because they took it completely apart, put it back together. The paint was still drying on the trailer on their way to Sebring, and he finished and won every race at Sebring, which is amazing. I don't even think Greenwood could make such a reliable Corvette with that much power.
No, legendary John Greenwood Corvettes were always famous for their horsepower. But Borchetta, I've only seen one mechanical problem Borchetta has ever had, and that was in an Enduro at Lime Rock last year. But other than that, that Corvette has been extremely reliable. In 1969, they replaced the 327 cubic inch engine with the 350, and I believe that's what Borchetta is running in there. Also had the Z01 aluminum engine that came out that year. But Borchetta, you have seen him progress as a driver, not only in SVRA, but in Trans Am 2, where he runs the big machine vodka spike coolers car, and he has really come up through the ranks and progressed as a driver through the year. A little bit further back is Scott Hawley in one of those Jaguars. That is a B production entry in 1963 Jaguar for Scott Hawley. It has independent front and rear suspension, which at the time was one of the innovations that Jaguar did. So a Jaguar of Scott Hawley running very well in B production. That was an SCCA class that was created back and is no longer running. It is actually now in GT2. But that silver and blue 1963 Jaguar of Scott Hawley going away.
Is our leader. Look at this beautiful car. That's Andy Pilgrim there in that number 4. Is that?
And his student.
Wait, I'm not sure that's the right car. Let's see. That's him. There's Andy Pilgrim. See, I'm used to seeing him in such different cars. He switches every week, just to confuse us. But look at this beautiful. And Andy Pilgrim, as a fan of sports cars, is probably loving following this Bob Sharp tribute car there as he comes up the uphill S's. A very patient driver, Andy Pilgrim. I don't think I've ever seen him put a wheel wrong. And just having a blast here racing with International GT and now SVRA in this mixed group.
Yeah, and you saw the veteran, he just followed very patiently the Bob Sharp Racing Datsun. He knew he was out faster than him, just followed Herring through the S's. As soon as they got on the short straight between turns 5 and 6, just pulled out and went by. Again, a veteran race driver. Some drivers are not that patient, or they think they can get by, and turn 5, part of the S's, is not the place to do that at all. Yeah, Pilgrim and his student Bartoni are doing very well, as Pilgrim and Bartoni have been the fastest 2 drivers through the test sessions, practice, and qualifying. And Bartoni in the Porsche Cayman learning very well from Andy Pilgrim, a great driver coach. And that's what a lot of these professional co-drivers are. They're not only just co-driving in the particular car that they're entered in, but they're actually coaching the driver that they're co-driving with, and that's making them better. It's bringing them up quality track time, and doing a great service for International GT and for SVRA as well.
Yeah, this is just so much fun. I was, to be honest, coming in and hearing about this, the Cayman group running with the SVRA cars, I didn't know how I felt about it, but now seeing what I see, this has been a lot of fun to see this mixed group racing. That's what sports car racing is, different classes. Every car has its strengths and weaknesses. I haven't seen too many weaknesses with these Stuttgart Caymans yet, but really impressed with all the driving throughout the field. Tony Ave, I got to give it up for Tony Ave, a good friend of mine and yours from the Trans Am series. Races and everything. He just has a lot of fun. And it's neat to see him back in the SVRA paddock instead of the Trans Am paddock out there with this beautiful 300ZX. And there's Jeff Lindstrom with Griffin Autosports and the 427 of Anthony Bartoni. Out braking the Mustang, which it should do, and now let's see if Lindstrom can drag him down the straight.
Yeah, the Porsche brakes are legendary in motor racing, both in Europe and here in the United States, but when it comes to horsepower, hard to beat that Ford Mustang 5-liter engine in Jeff Lindstrom's car. Lindstrom used to run in GT. He won the Bell Helmet Championship in 2020, but has switched over to the Group 12 MP2 class for this year. But it should be the horsepower of the Ford Mustang. But now when they get down to turn 10A and 10B, that's going to be where the braking of the Porsche and the handling of the Porsche should come in to stay there.
Still looking for a good shot of Tony Ave's number 48 Nissan. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, again, James Goffrey, who drove that car for years in GT2 and SCCA Club Racing, I'm sure he's glad to see it out front where it was in SCCA.
Look at that.
There you go.
New Nissan versus Datsun. Same company. Name change right after that Bob Sharp car. There is our leader in Group 12. Talk about a GT car. Tony Ave coming up with Renee Tersilla there. That's a crazy pass there, Tony Ave, but you know.
It is for some drivers, not for him.
Not for Tony Ave. Look at this.
Yeah, Ave has
beautiful shots there.
Ave has a lot of laps around Mission Raceway at Atlanta. If there's a part of this track that he doesn't know, I'd be very surprised, because he was back here again 2010 and 2011, his championship years, and then he was also a part of Doug Peterson's championship year as he ran an Ave Corvette along with Tony in the Trans Am Series.
Renee Tersilla there. Beautiful new Shelby with Griffin Autosports. And it's lots of fun seeing the crossover between the SVRA paddock and the Trans Am paddock. So Billy Griffin in Trans Am runs Griffin Autosports with our SVRA driver. So just a lot of fun here.
Yeah, he was really disappointed last year. He had an off here at Road Atlanta at last year's Trans Am.
So there was the checker flag. Andy Pilgrim took the checker flag here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Another race win for Andy Pilgrim. So excited to have Andy with us in the Caymans this year. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the Porsche guys are calling Andy for a little R&D. I don't think they could get better R&D than Andy Pilgrim out there driving their products.
No, not at all. Andy Pilgrim, a very experienced driver and a very professional driver. Good test driver as well. So Pilgrim taking the win. See if Bartoni would finish second, his student. Looking for Ave and Borchetta to come through. Ave, who was the leader in what we'll call the SVRA GT portion of this particular race bin. And Ave and Borchetta, this will make his 26th straight win. He'll go for number 27 tomorrow in the feature race. Again, he is going to put that race streak on the line tomorrow, able to defend it and able to continue it today.
That's got to be a record in vintage racing, because that's in a row. That's consecutive race wins. I can't think of a time anybody's even gotten close to that in the last 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, I could not find anybody that was, 3, 4, 5 race wins in a row. That's really something in vintage racing, as you know, because of the competition and because of the years of the cars. But 26 and now hopefully maybe 27 tomorrow, that's just incredible. That's unheard of.
That's crazy. There's that Scott Graham car as they come down here on the cool down lap.
Yeah, 1969 Pontiac Firebird. I believe he took the win over John Cloud in the Ford Boss 302 as Pontiac taking the first feature race win here over the Ford of John Cloud, our 2018 Driver of the Year.
There's that Scott Graham car. So that is it for the Cayman Group 6, Group 12. So I am going to send it away. We're here at the Atlanta Speed Tour, but we are going to take a short break here and make sure you come back.
A marathon coach owner is someone who expects exploration and relaxation to blend flawlessly. For the most reliable, luxurious motor coach on the market today, look no further than Marathon Coach. Indulge that wanderlust, leave any cares behind, and lead a life filled with adventure. Join the Marathon family and take your 5-star hotel with you.